Israel. It's your brother K. Judah, giving all praise to the Most High Yah and faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. To my Israelite family worldwide, I say peace and blessings. And I want to say Shabbat Shalom to the Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. Let me say this right off the muscle. A lot of you Israelites have become over-righteous in the truth. All Yah asks you to do, who teaching this Bible, is plant a seed. He did not ask you to become dictators of other people's lives. Stay out of people's personal lives and only teach the Bible. If somebody start a new job, a young brother or a young sister, and they listen to a lot of you over-righteous Israelites, and they have to work on a Sabbath day until they can get them some seniority, your goofy behind gonna tell them to go get another job. If an Israelite listen to you over-righteous Israelites, and you tell them to leave their job, and they don't have no money to support their family, are you gonna feed them? Are you gonna give them money to sustain them? What are you gonna do for them, over-righteous? This why I be telling y'all, man, stop listening to everybody. You have people telling people what they can do on the Sabbath day and what they can't do. When the Lord had already told you, I'm going to have compassion on whom I want to have compassion on. I'm going to have mercy on whom I want to have mercy on. So who is you to tell somebody what to do in their family house? Who is you to tell somebody don't go to a funeral? Who is you to tell somebody you can't leave your house? If somebody want to go to the park and read their Bible and enjoy nature, who is you to tell them they can't do that? If somebody's family die and they're not aware of God's Sabbath day, and most people keep their funerals on the Sabbath day, who is you to tell them don't go support their family? I bet you if one of y'all husbands die or one of your children die and is on the Sabbath day, I bet you go on the Sabbath day. Use common sense in this truth, man, and leave people alone. I don't dictate people's lives. That's not my job. My job is to plant a seed. Now you have people saying you can't wipe your behind. You can't pick up a piece of paper. You can't take no shower. You got to get enough toilet paper for the whole Sabbath day, from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. And you Israelite listening to these type of people. Man, get you a pen. Get you some paper. Write these scriptures down, family, and let's get it. The first scripture your brother K. Judah gonna go to is I'm going to Matthew chapter 12. And I'm going to show you what the Lord allowed David to do. Now, y'all say, God don't change. God don't change. Absolutely not his judgments. Absolutely not his word. But there is times when God will hold back his hand and not strike a man or woman down. But you come into the truth and you just know God's mind. You just dictate his thoughts process, huh? You know everything God thinking, huh? Let me show you what God did for David. This is Matthew chapter 12. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1 through 4. Matthew chapter 12. Y'all better start reading for y'allself, Israelites. And you better stop listening to these over-righteous Israelites. That's going to cause you to stumble. Why would you cause problems with your mama and your daddy, your brother and your sister, your husband and your wife, and your children when you don't have to? If they don't want to hear the truth, that's one thing. But you sitting up here being so over-righteous with your family, that's why they won't listen to a lot of y'all. You have no common sense. You don't know how to discern and use discretion. Sometimes just pull back on your family. Don't say nothing at the dinner table. If your mama and daddy eating pork and you know you're not supposed to eat pork, don't get to judging them. You just pray for them until they can come around to the truth. You just don't eat pork or don't sit at the dinner table with them. Go in another room. Your family invite you out to eat. You go sit down at the table. They eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. You just don't order that dough. And you pray for your family. Now, when Christmas and all that come around at Thanksgiving, then you just don't have to go over there. But a lot of y'all don't use no common sense in the truth. I mean, none, man. No common sense in the truth. Just a lot of judgment on people's lives. Matthew chapter 12. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1 through 4. And it reads, at that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon a Sabbath day. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat. Read that again, King Judah. How he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Did you not hear that, over righteous Israelites? That the Lord said that anybody who approach unto the tabernacle of the congregation, they should be killed. No one can eat the showbread. No one can touch the holy things but the priests. But David ate the showbread, and the Lord did not kill him. I'm going to show you why. So David ate the showbread. Can we get this out of the mouth of 2 or 3 to let it be established? Let's go to 1 Samuel, chapter 21. 1 Samuel 21. And your brother K. Judah, go and read verse 1 through 6. David supposed to have been dead, but the Lord didn't kill him. He allowed him to eat that showbread and the men that was with David. Why did you do such a thing, Lord? You don't change. David supposed to have been dead, but you did something that a lot of people look over, and we're going to see what you did. 1 Samuel 21, and your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 1 through 6. And it reads, then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech, the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Elimelech, the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now, therefore, what is under thy hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, and what is there, and what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollow bread, set apart bread, David. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, they have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common. Yea, though it was sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hollow bread. David, you supposed to been dead, bruh. You didn't supposed to eat that hollow bread, David. Why did not the Lord kill you? Because the Lord don't change, David. Once it go forth out of his mouth, if it only supposed to be the priest who eat the hollow bread, you supposed to been dead right on the spot, David, because that hollow bread is sanctified bread only for the priests. But the Lord allowed you, David, and the young men that were with you to eat hollow bread. Read verse 6 again, King Judah. Now the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken off. So once you take that bread off, you got to put some more hot bread on. But he gave David showbread. Why did the Lord allow David to eat this bread? Let's go to Romans chapter 9. And I'm going to show you over righteous Israelites something that you overlook. Because you too busy trying to be a dictator and not using the word of God and lining up precept on precept, line up on line to paint the picture to the young brothers and young sisters. So what you do? You got all the knowledge. Oh, you got all the knowledge. So you become judgmental. You know everything now, but you make no mistakes. But you telling other people about theirs. Fall back. Keep your mouth closed. Romans chapter 9. And your brother K. Judah gonna read verse 15 and 16. Romans chapter 9. We're gonna let the Lord speak today, man. That's what's wrong. Too many people talking. And God ain't doing all the talking when the words come out your mouth. It's your own interpretation of what you think a person should do. Now use God's oracles to allow them to see what God wants them to do. Not what you want them to do. Y'all talk too much. And I can't stand a person who talk too much. Jesus. Romans chapter 9 verse 15 and 16. And it reads, this is why the Lord did not kill David. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Read that again, King Judah. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. K. Judah, read it again for them in the back of the pews. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that will it, nor of him that run it, but of God that showeth mercy. Did you hear that, you over-righteous Israelites? The Lord said, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. That's why he allowed David to eat the showbread. Because the Lord loved David and had compassion upon David. And he knew that Saul was trying to kill David. David was hungry. And God is a man of common sense. Because the bread was hollow and showbread. Do God supposed to let David starve? Absolutely not. Sometimes common sense got to be applied in these scriptures. If your baby hungry and need infant meal and it's on a Sabbath day, are you not going to go get the infant meal? If your mama's sick and the only time you can get the prescription is on a Sabbath day, is you going to let your mama die? Sometimes you got to make those decisions in the midst of those decisions. Somebody got to go to the hospital on a Sabbath day. You better get your behind to that hospital on a Sabbath day. Goofy. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. And we're going to read verse 4 and 5 this time. We're going back to Matthew chapter 12. And we're going to line it up precept on precept, line upon line. Here a little and there a little for the over-righteous Israelites in the nation. Matthew chapter 12 again. The Lord did already told you don't be over-righteous over much. And a lot of y'all are very over-righteous. No common sense. Just a lot of talking. Matthew chapter 12 again. And this time, verse 4 and 5. Matthew chapter 12. And your brother King Judah gonna read verse 4 and 5. And it reads, how he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath day, the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath day and are blameless? Woo! Y'all don't read these scriptures? The priests had to sacrifice from sun up to sundown. They profaned the Sabbath day, and the Lord just said they are blameless. Why did the Lord have them working on the Sabbath day? Because Israel was sinning. They was being wicked. And if those animals was not being sacrificed and no blood was being shed, God would have killed the whole nation. So sometimes in the midst of not killing the people, decisions have to be made for a whole people not to die. And this was on a Sabbath day, and they are blameless. Have you not read these scriptures? Let's get this out of them for 2 or 3, let it be established. Let's go to Numbers 28, and let's see this. Numbers 28. And your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 1 and 2. Then I'll tell you when I'm going to skip down. Numbers. Somebody come to me right now, A.K. Judah. Say, brother, I work on the Sabbath day. I don't want to work on the Sabbath day. How long you been at your job, brother? I just started work on the Sabbath day until you can pray and ask God to remove you from the Sabbath day until you get a little seniority. Don't quit your job. Don't listen to nobody tell you what to do about the Sabbath day, because guess what? He gonna have compassion on whom he won't, brother, and mercy on whom he won't. A lot of our people work on the Sabbath day. They have to sustain themselves and have a life. What you gonna do? Are you gonna tell them, well, brother, you better get you another job? I promise you, you Israelites are goofy. But I bet you if you was in those people's shoes, you wouldn't quit your job. You will work on the Sabbath day to sustain your family, but gonna tell somebody else that they shouldn't do it. Numbers 28. Y'all see why we got so much confusion in this truth? Do y'all see why so much confusion in this truth? Because people are not teaching you and seeds, they are your dictator. They'll become your dictator. Now they trying to control your life. Now they know what's best for you and don't even know you. They know what's best for you and they never talk to you. All they doing is teaching you. You ask them a question and they become over righteous on you. Now you can't go support your family if somebody die. You can't support your family if somebody die. You got to stay home and your whole family going to be angry with you. And they got a right to be angry with you because your mama needed to lean on your shoulder in that time of grief. But you were so over righteous and listened to somebody who was over righteous. Now your whole family mad at you because you weren't there to support your mama or to support your daddy or to support your family member. It's called wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And when get understanding, not just Numbers 28. Lord, the Moses saying 9 and 10. And it reads, and on the Sabbath day, read that again, K. Judah. And on the Sabbath day, one more time, K. Judah. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2 10 deals of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and a drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. Did you hear that? That they had to do this on the Sabbath day. And the Lord say they are blameless in Matthew chapter 12, verse 5. He said they are blameless. David was blameless before the Lord. So when those goofy Pharisees gonna tell the Lord, why is your disciples plucking corn? I never read that in the Bible, you can't pluck corn. I never read that. Then they're gonna come and tell Christ they are doing that which is not lawful. They was over righteous. And they blinded themselves by being over righteous. And many of you are blind in this truth, being over righteous. You cannot discern the smallest things. How are you going to rule on the throne with Yahshua HaMashiach when you can't even use common sense now? But you waiting on the Lord to come. He won't put you on the throne because you can't even judge between your brother and sister right now. The smallest things. Let's go, family, to Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And I'm going to read verse 16 and 17. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. I see why the Lord told us to be spiritual. And when we read these scriptures, you cannot use your carnal mind. You must be spiritual. Because sometimes somebody may ask you a question. That's why the Bible says, be ready to give an answer always. Why, family? Because somebody may ask you a question, and you may have to discern between the scriptures and go and see what God say. But once God said, then somebody have a job, you can't tell them to leave their job because you read that the Lord say 6 days should a man work, and on the Sabbath day is rest. Yes, that's scripture. But what you gonna tell them to do? Common sense will tell you, look, brother, work that job on the Sabbath day. Then show them the scriptures where David ate the showbread, where the priests profane the Sabbath day, and they are blameless. So God understands your situation because he's smarter than we are. He know you don't want to work on the Sabbath day. So guess what God gonna do? He allow you to be established. You work your way up the ranks. And then God put it into your boss heart to give you the Sabbath day off. Same thing happened to me. I started the job. I had to work on the Sabbath day. Then they asked me, K. Judah, can you take a position? I say, if you gonna give me a position, I need Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. I can't work on those days. But when I first started the job, I didn't tell them that because I was trying to make money to sustain myself. But once I got established in the job, I told them I can't work on these days. They say, no problem. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you can have it. That ain't nothing but the Lord, man. Because he knew I didn't want to work on the Sabbath day. So that's many of you. Work on the Sabbath day until you can establish yourself and work up the ranks and get the Sabbath day off. That's common sense. Even though the Lord say we don't supposed to work on the Sabbath day, but common sense will let me know that, hey, work on a Sabbath day until you can get it off. But you over-righteous Israelites don't say that. You so hasty in your speech, you condemn and judge and put down like you have the answers. But you don't. But you don't. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 16 and 17. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 16 and 17. And it reads, be not righteous over much. Read that again, K. Judah. Be not righteous over much. Whoo, one more time, K. Judah. Be not righteous over much. Neither make thyself overwise. Overwise. We got a lot of overwise Israelites. Oh, man, they read, boy, so many books. They know everything, y'all. They know everything. Nobody can tell them nothing. They got it all together. Show me how to get it all together since you got it all together. I want to know how you did it. How did you do it? You got it. You make no mistakes. You walk in that narrow path. You never stumble. This is some of these Israelites, family. They really believe because they read so much and got some knowledge, but they have become overwise. So they cannot discern the smallest things. They can't because they overwise. So did you hear that? In verse 16 again. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself overwise. Why should thou destroy thyself? The Lord is telling you that you can destroy yourself being overrighteous. You can destroy yourself being overwise. Fall back and understand you in this flesh and blood body, and you also make mistakes. That's why I would never judge another man or a woman. Whatever it, that's just like when people say, man, you don't supposed to be smoking no weed. Well, if they're using it for medication, be quiet. Be quiet. Who is you? Who is you? We understand we don't supposed to defile our temple. Why? Because the word of God dwelleth in you. But I never read in the law a person can't smoke. If we're going to go according to the law, if we're going to go according to 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, transgression is the law. I never read in the 10 Commandments the man can't drink and smoke. Now, it's bad for your health, but he never said you couldn't do it. Now, it's bad for you, though, but he never said you couldn't do it. So who is you to be overwise and start telling people what they can do with their body? If they want to sip a little bit, let them sip. They want to smoke, let them smoke. Because I never read you can't. Well, okay, Judah, they don't supposed to defile their temple. That's because the word dwelling in them. So you shouldn't be defiling your temple by being a liar. You shouldn't defile your temple by false doctrine. That's what he's talking about. What dwell in your temple? The word. And a lot of y'all say you servants of God, right? But a lot of y'all are liars and deceivers. So you defile your temple by being a liar and a deceiver. Because now if you can show me in the 10 Commandments, you aren't supposed to drink and smoke, I stand corrected right now. But I never read that. It's bad for you. Cigarettes are bad for your family. But I never read that in the law you can't smoke. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12. And this is what the Lord wants a lot of you overwise, overrighteous Israelites to know. Yeah, I got all the daggers today to shut you overwise Israelites up. That's why, man, I cannot listen to a lot of people, family. I stay off a lot of people channels. I unsubscribe from a lot of people. They too overrighteous for me, man. I can't do it. I can't do it, fam. I like being around humble people. I like being around people when somebody walk in the room and you know the light is shining on you, but you go in the back of the room. You don't need no attention. You just want to remain humble. You ain't looking for all that, man. But a lot of people is looking for that, family. A lot of people want to be the big muckety muck in the nation. A lot of people want to know that they want to let you know they got knowledge. They want to let you know they wise. It ain't even much about that, man. It ain't about that. The Lord don't care about none of that, man. Can you discern the smallest things in the truth? Can you judge righteously? Can you walk upright? Do you know how to discern between brother and sister? Do you know how to do that? Romans chapter 12. And this is what the Lord wants you overrighteous Israelites to know. Not K. Judah words, but the Lord's words. Romans chapter 12, family. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 1 through 8. Watch this. Romans chapter 12. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 1 through 8. And it reads, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Christ, and every one member one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Our ministry, let us wait on our ministering. Or he that teacheth on teaching. Or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. Did you hear that? Do it with simplicity. Do it with simplicity. That means be simple. You ain't got to do all that in the walk. Being over wise, being over righteous. You know everything. Nobody else know nothing. You don't listen. Simplicity. Verse 7 again. Our ministry, let us wait on our ministering. Or he that teacheth on teaching. He that exhorteth or exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. So do you see? We are all one body, but we don't have the same office. That's why we crashing into each other. Because you trying to come in my lane. Stay in your own lane, man. Everybody cannot break down the scriptures and precept on precept. Maybe you just supposed to gather the people together. Show love to the nation. Maybe you just supposed to help somebody else out. You're not a teacher. Everybody is not a teacher, man. So stay in the lane that God gave you and stop trying to come in another man's lane or another sister's lane. And that's why y'all crashing into each other, because you want to be everybody's lane because you overwise. Many books don't make you wise. Many books don't make you wise. Simplicity and knowing how to discern righteously. That make you wise. Not many books. So you have been deceived thinking that many books make you wise. When learning how to discern between brother and sister, precept on precept, and line upon line, to give those out there the understanding that God is a common sense God, and understand your situation and know what you're going through. And he will have compassion on whom he will, and have mercy on whom he will. Get that knowledge. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 again, because now we got better understanding. Matthew chapter 12 again. Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm going back, flipping back and forth through the precepts. A lot of y'all read one scripture and then you just start talking. You don't get multiple, just one. And you start condemning and judging people. You're supposed to let the Bible talk, but you do a lot of talking. Woo, boy, a lot of y'all talk too much. Matthew chapter 12 again. And I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. Because now we got better understanding what he did for David and what he did for the priests. Matthew chapter 12, and your brother K. Judah going to read verse 1 through 2. Then I'm going to skip down to verse 8. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 1 and 2. Then I'm going to skip down to verse 8. And it reads, at time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon a Sabbath day. Jump down to verse 8, and let's see what Yahshua HaMashiach told these goofies. Verse 8, for the Son of Man, read that again. For the Son of Man, one more time. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. Dagger to your soul. Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath day, Israel. So what can you tell him about the children he created? He know what they going through more than you do. So stay in your lane and stop trying to interpretate God's brain, his mind, and what he decide for those he have compassion on and mercy on. You don't know who they are. You don't know what God doing in their life, but you judging. You judging. And God don't like that. That's why Paul said you can't even judge, you can't even judge righteously between the smallest matters. You cannot even judge righteously with the smallest matters. How are you going to rule with Yahshua HaMashiach? I just want to know how. Matthew chapter 15. And I'm going to read verse 1 through 3. And then I'm going to skip down to verse 7 through 9. Matthew chapter 15. And your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 1 through 3. Then I'm going to skip down to verse 7 through 9. I had to put this lesson together. Because all over YouTube, all you have is over righteous Israelites. You got brothers telling people if you say in the name of God, you going to hell. You got people saying if you saying Lord and God, you are of the devil. I don't like these type of people, y'all. I couldn't even be in a room with these type of people. They would make my stomach sick. Telling somebody because they say Jesus, they going to hell. They say Lord and God, they of the devil. You stupid and dumb. Because ain't nobody going to hell for saying no Jesus or Lord and God. And they walking in righteousness and trying to the best of their ability. You think God going to send them to hell? Boy, y'all have become so wise. Woo, y'all know more than God. You must be God. You must be God. Matthew chapter 15. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 1 through 3. Then I'm going to skip down to verse 7 through 9. And it reads, then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandments of God by your traditions. That's many of y'all. You're not walking in God's commandments. You coming up with your own traditions. You telling people what you think they should do. No, partner. I'm telling people what God say you should do. But in the midst of that, I'm using common sense. You think God gonna punish me for telling a brother or sister that, look, you're supposed to work 6 days. And on a Sabbath day, it do say you supposed to rest, brother and sister. But if you just started the job, don't lose your job. And you ain't gonna be able to take care of yourself. You gotta use common sense, brother and sister. So in order to make money and sustain yourself in this life and in this captivity, work the job until you can get the Sabbath day off. Then pray and ask the Most High, Father, I have worked this job for a year. Can you put into my boss mind or my manager mind to allow me to get the Sabbath day off? God see you are diligent. He put into your boss mind. He give you the Sabbath day off. Now you got the Sabbath day off. I'm telling y'all because it happened to me. I first started my job. Guess what? I had to work on Saturdays. I hated it. I said, hey, I need Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. Been on my job for a minute. Had that seniority. They gave it to me. All praise to the Most High and His Son. But He did not condemn me for working on a Sabbath day because the Lord knew I didn't want to work on a Sabbath day and I really was trying. So don't tell me and try to judge somebody about what God can do when He didn't already told me I'm going to have compassion on whom I want in Romans chapter 9. So fall back and stay in your lane and keep your mouth closed when it comes to other brothers and sisters because you don't know what God doing in their life. Humble yourself down. Jump down to verse 7 through 9. And let's see what he told these goofy Pharisees. Verse 7. Ye hypocrites. Read that again, K. Judah. Ye hypocrites, many of you Israelites. You hypocrites, judging everybody else. You hypocrites. Where did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honored me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. There's many of y'all. You ain't teaching a doctrine of Yahshua HaMashiach. You teaching your doctrine of your elders, doctrines of your leaders, doctrines of your generals. But I don't see no gospel of Yahshua HaMashiach. Because Yahshua HaMashiach was working on the Sabbath day. He wasn't sitting in a house watching cartoons. He was in the streets with the people, working that work and doing his Father's business. Let's go to Luke chapter 18, and I'm almost done, family. This ain't no long lesson. I'm almost done. Luke chapter 18, and I'm going to read verse 1, and then I'm going to skip down to verse 9 through 14. Luke chapter 18. Luke chapter 18. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. Luke chapter 18 and verse 1. And it reads, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought to always pray and not to faint. And I agree with that, man. Always pray for guidance from Yah. Don't get it from man. They will lead you astray. Don't get your guidance from man. They will lead you astray. Ask Yah and Yahshua to guide you. Ask them for directions. Now jump down to verse 9 through 14. And let's see what the Lord about to say in this parable. Verse 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves, that they were righteous. Whoo, I love that. I have to read that again. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves, that they were righteous, and despised others. This not going on, family? Tell me this not going on. Let me read verse 9 again for those who are deaf. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves, that they were righteous and despised others. Two men went unto the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed, thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men, or extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to a sinner. Verse 13 again. Listen, family. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to a sinner. I tell you, this man, hold up, which one, Lord? The over-righteous Pharisee or the publican? I tell you, this man, hold up, Lord. But the other one paid tithes. He fasts twice a day. He also judged the publican. Looked down on him like he got it all together. He despised the publican. He do everything, Lord, pay tithes, he fasts, he take care of the poor. But the other man, the publican, just said, Lord, be merciful to a sinner. Hold up, Lord. Let's read verse 14 again to get the understanding. Verse 14. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbled himself shall be exalted. Did you hear that, you over righteous Israelites? The publican was justified more than a Pharisee. And that's many of y'all. You are Pharisees. That include women too. The Lord, hey, you women too. A lot of you women are judgmental too, teaching on these panels. A lot of you men are judgmental teaching on these panels. So the Lord is letting it be known that a lot of y'all who think you are righteous and you despise others. So you look down on them like you got it all together because you got some knowledge. But guess what? You ain't the only one got knowledge in the nation, because he poured out his spirit on his sons and his daughters. So this should be an example for you, Israel, when you hear an over-righteous Israelite. He making all this noise on his panel. He up here despising other people. He over-righteous. He know everything. I got 365 books. I know Hebrew. I keep the Sabbath day. I pay tithes. I fast. But then somebody else only been in the truth for only a year. Humble. Righteous. Don't despise others. Walk with equity. Know how to discern. Use discretion. Love with the sincere and pure heart. And you've been doing it 20 years. This man over here who been doing it 1 year will be more justified than a goofy who been doing it 20 years. Because you are over righteous. You have blinded yourself that you cannot discern the smallest matters. Because you have many books. So you despise others who are not equipped as you are. But I love the humble. God loved the humble, the meek. Those who have understanding how to discern between precepts and know how to give an answer at the right moment, according to scriptures. Not according to vain opinion and judgment, but according to discretion. Not according to judgment, but discretion. That's called knowledge. That's called knowledge. Let's go to Matthew 23. I got 4 more scriptures after this. Let's go to Matthew 23. And your brother K. Judah gonna read verse 1 through 7. Matthew 23 and verse 1 through 7. I want to let you overrighteous Israelites know something. You cannot put old wine into new bottles and new wine into old bottles. Keep your mouth closed and teach the gospel of Christ. I should not be hearing you talk. When you on your panel and you teaching, I should be hearing what thus said the Lord, not what thus said you. Too much talking make it seem real, and too much talking make my head hurt. Matthew. I keep telling y'all that people read what they don't see and lie about what they can see. People read what they can't see and lie about what they can see. Matthew 23, and your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 1 through 7. And it reads, Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works. For they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them upon men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. You see this? You see this? They're going to put a burden on you, but they don't do no work themselves. That's mean that the Israelites men, they got their women working. All they think they supposed to do is teach on the street corners. And by doing that, just only teaching on the street corner, they didn't become bigger than a Subway sandwich. They didn't become bigger than a Subway sandwich. These Negroes is bigger than balloons. But they talking about they ready for battle. Can't even throw a punch. Can't even move your arm around your belly button to throw a punch because you big, bro. All you doing is eat and on the street corner while your woman out there breaking her back because of this right here, what the Lord just said. You put heavy burdens on other people, but you yourselves not working though. You don't got no job. You ain't handling God's business. Oh, in the Bible you think you are, but you supposed to work and handle God's business. All of my brothers have jobs over here, and we teach the Bible and put work in when it comes to the scriptures. And also would do for our family if it need be, whether raising money or if they're in a time of need. We also do that too. So that means that it's supposed to be an all-around thing, not just you on the street corner and you eating all day. And every time I see you year by year, you didn't gain 15, 20 more pounds. You're going to get to a point we're going to see you on the 500-pound club. As an Israelite, you're going to be the first one as an Israelite on the 500-pound club crying on there, talking about, I just don't know what went wrong. Verse 4 again. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them upon men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. So do you see that these men like to be seen? These type of men like to be seen of other men and women. But those of us who are really humble, we don't care about that. Don't you know I have been asked to come to other people's platform and I won't do it? You know why I won't do it? Because I'm not trying to be seen. Why would I want to go to other men's platform just to talk to them and just to be seen and get subscribers? That don't mean nothing to me. I let people find my channel through the spirit. I don't tell nobody I have a channel. When I'm over there on folk, don't nobody know I have a channel over there. I just go over there to fellowship with my brothers. I never told them I had a channel, family. They just found it on their own. Or somebody probably told them, you know, the brother have a channel. I never told them I had a channel because I'm not there for that. I'm there to fellowship with my brothers. That's their platform. I'm there to learn some history. But a lot of y'all, you want to go to everybody's platform to be seen so people can know who you are, so they can go to your channel, so you can try to get them some knowledge. Let's go to Mark chapter 8, the book of Mark, chapter 8. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 1 through 12, and I'm going to skip down to verse 15. And I got 3 more scriptures after this. Mark chapter 8. And your brother K. Judah is going to read verse 1 through 12. I see what a lot of people do, though. When they ask me to come to their panel, they want to have a pissing contest, family. They're not trying to really iron sharpen iron. They're trying to put me to shame. I'm not a fool, man. A lot of people want me to come to their channel so they can shut me down. Meaning that if I go on their panel, they're going to put me on mute. They're going to be the dictator. They're going to let me know, hey, this is my channel. They're going to mute me. They're going to try to control the situation. But anybody know Brother K. Judah, when people come to my channel, I shut my mouth. People be thinking, man, this dude's still on the panel? Because I don't interrupt men in their speech. Because it's not about a pissing contest with me. If we going to iron sharpen iron, you need to let me talk and I need to let you talk. How we going to sit up here and have a discussion if you don't know what I'm saying? You interrupted me every 5 seconds. We have a bad reputation in Israel. My brother Ariel told me something that was real. He said, K. Judah, we was talking on the phone. He said, brother, you know the number one problem with us? I said, what, Ariel? What, my brother? He said, we got a bad reputation that we don't listen. We very disrespectful. When people try to talk to us, we overtalk them. This brother not lying. That's the reputation in Israel. You don't listen. You talk too much. You talk too much, man. The man asks a question, you over talking the man. You ain't even hear the man question. You just want to read scriptures. But the man trying to ask a question, though, that means you need to shut your mouth and let him ask his question, let him get it all out, and then answer the question. How you going to answer something you didn't hear? Mark chapter 8. And I'm going to read verse 1 through 12. And it reads, in those days, the multitude being very great and having nothing to eat, Jesus called his disciples and said unto them, I have compassion on the multitude, because they have now been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. And if I send them away fast into their own houses, they will faint by the way. For thy words of them came from far. Woo, Lord, you have common sense, Lord. The Lord, man, you so wise, man. You make my heart so full of joy when I read about you, Yahshua. Woo, that was common sense. You say, let me feed them. Because if I send them away fasting, these people are going to faint by the way. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. A lot of y'all have people come to your house. You don't offer them nothing to eat. You don't know how far they drove. You don't offer them nothing. You just want to get your wisdom out. Then offer them nothing to drink, to eat, to make sure they leave cheerfully. The Lord said, I can't do this to these people. I got to feed them, or they will faint by the way. Verse 4, and his disciples answered him, from whence came a man satisfy these men with bread here in the wilderness? And he asked them, how many loaves have ye? And they said, 7. And he commanded the people to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks and brake and gave to his disciples to set before them. And they did set them before the people. And they had a few small fishes. And he blessed and commanded to set them also before them. So they did eat and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets. And they had eaten were about 4,000. And he sent them away. And straightway he entered into a ship with his disciples and came into a part of their Mudia. And the Pharisees came forth and began to question him, seeking of him a sign from heaven, tempting him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, why do this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there should no sign be given unto this generation. Drop down to verse 15 and let's see what the Lord said. Verse 15. And it reads, and he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. What was the leaven of the Pharisees? Lies, false doctrine, and unbelief. They had no faith. Unbelief, false doctrine, and they had no faith. Unbelief. That's why he told them, do all that they command you, but do not after their works. For they say and do not. That's many Israelites right now. They say, but they don't do. They say, but they don't do. And I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to be blunt. You have many Israelite channels on YouTube. And the people will flock to a bigger channel. Guess why, family? Because they want to be where majority of the people at. But I appreciate the small channels because that's where the truth is being spoken. Don't you know you can go through YouTube right now and a lot of people don't teach lessons? They talk to you. They tell you about this life, how you can be better in America, how you can be successful. I don't got time for that. I want you to know your big brother Yahshua, the gospel. Get understanding how to save yourself from this unfortunate generation. Many channels on YouTube, but they teach so many lies. All they do is talk. They ain't teaching no scriptures. They ain't teaching you lessons. Many Israelite channels are big. They even got it monetized. And I'm not mad at that. I don't count other people's pockets. But I'm telling you this. I told the Most High Yah, I don't want no money. I don't want no donations, Father. I would not teach lies. I will teach your word righteously, and I will plant seeds according to your word. I don't want no donations. I don't care about no subscribers. I never ask people to subscribe anyway. You never heard K. Judah say, hey, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I never say that since I've been teaching. I don't need nothing from nobody, family. All I want you to do is hear the word of your father and your big brother. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So your channel may be bigger than mine, but I'm being shadow banned more than you because I'm teaching spiritual things. And YouTube can't have that. My channel is shadow banned to a point where I can have 120 people behind the scene. Like when you go check it, it'd be like you got 120 people listening while I'm live. But when I end the live, it say you got 45 views. I be having 130 sometimes, but when I end the live, it say 35 views, 45 views, 55 views. And guess how they do it? They break it up in small proportions. So like it'll go from 50, 55, 60, 65. They don't just give it to me like straight. They break it up. My brother from the UK told me, you being shadow banned so bad, bro. So bad. Because your platform is more impactful than big channels. Your platform is more impactful than big channels because you are teaching Yahshua. They can't have that, K. Judah. They can't have you waking up your brothers and sisters and showing love to those around you. You are being an example for the rest of the nation. How to show love, how to be respectful, how to talk to your brothers and sisters. They can't have that, bro. So they are going to try to shut you down. That's what he told me. So yes, your channel is big, 200,000-300,000 subscribers, but you're not teaching nothing. You just talking, not teaching, talking. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12. And I got two more scriptures after this. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. If you're on YouTube teaching, don't worry about the 4 views you get. Don't worry about the 5 people that's listening. Edify the 5. Because out of the 5, 1 may wake up and change their behavior and turn to God through you planting a seed, and your reward should be great. Don't worry about whether you got 1,000, 2,000. Don't worry about none of that. Because majority of the people with big channels, I guarantee you, if you go to their platform right now and go through their channel, they read some scriptures, don't get me wrong, but they're not teaching you precept on, really lining it up. All my videos on my channel are lessons. Go check it out for yourself. They all lessons. Not me just talking. They all lessons. Every last one of them are lessons to edify you about your big brother. and your father. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 again. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 9 through 13. I made that clear to the Most High. I would not deceive your flock. I'm not playing with your word, Father. All I ask you to do for me is keep me and give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to discern between lies and deception. And he gave it to me, family. No man can deceive me. You bring your foolishness over here, I'm going to shut it down with the word. I guarantee you. You could take that as being arrogant, boastful. I don't care nothing about none of that. If you come over here with you trying to be boastful, with your pride, thinking you're going to teach me something, and it's not true, I'm going to shut it down with the word. I guarantee you. I'm sick of y'all sitting up here acting like you know so much. All you want to do is talk from the comment section and the chat box. But then when I say hit the link, you don't want to hit the link. That means be quiet then. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. What you talking for? Ecclesiastes chapter 12. And your brother K. Judah going to read verse 9 through 13. And it reads, and moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge, 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 knowledge. Woo! Got to read that again. That was so sweet to the lips. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even the words of truth. The words of the wise are as guards, and there's a nail fastened by a master of assimiles, which are given by one shepherd. That one shepherd is Yahshua HaMashiach. That one shepherd is Yahshua HaMashiach. That one builder is Yahshua. He's a master builder of assimiles. You know how them people be building them skyscrapers? That's Yahshua HaMashiach. He's the master of assimiles. Verse 12. By these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There's no end. And much study is weariness of the flesh. There's nothing wrong with reading a lot of books. But a lot of y'all do it for the wrong reason. There's nothing wrong with reading a lot of books. But a lot of y'all do it to have a pissing contest. Let's go and be real with it. You just want to throw your knowledge around in people's face. You just want to let somebody know you smart and wise. You just want to get on panels and debate men because you read an outside book. But I guarantee you, I'll put $500 on it. I bet you can't break down the 2,300 days. I bet you can't break down the 70 weeks of Daniel. I bet you can't break down the 1,335 days. I bet you don't understand the 1,290 days. But you read a lot of books though, huh? I bet you can't break those things down which are spiritual. Which are spiritual. I bet you can't break down the 30 pieces of silver. I bet you can't break down Zechariah. What about getting understanding that Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Zechariah, and them was all in captivity at the same time? Did you know that? Nope. I bet you did. Oh, even Daniel. Did you know Daniel was in captivity? Zechariah, Jeremiah, all of them was in captivity around the same time. I don't know if they knew each other, but they was all prophesying around the same time of that Babylon captivity of them 70 years. These are things I asked God for. Knowledge. To teach them the things that are coming up on the earth. I bet you most men can't break down that 2,300 days. You know why you can't do it? Because you're too wise. You are over righteous. You have blinded yourself by thinking you are better than other men and women. So God have blinded you, and he cannot increase you because you arrogant and you full of pride and you don't listen well. God cannot deal with men who don't listen well. You talk too much. So when you get on the panel, you interrupting men. You interrupting men. Hey, brother, let me finish. Hey, brother, I'm talking, man. Let me finish, bro. Then give an answer. Go ahead, bro. But like I was saying, yeah, man, oh my Lord, Jesus. That's Israelites for you, family. They talk too much, I'm telling you. They talk too much. So do you see? that the Lord also said this. Verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So there you go. The whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. In fearing God, you must teach God's word. Not assert authority over his word, but teach his word. All the prophets said what thus said the Lord. They never gave their own vain opinion. So how can you do it? How can you do it? Let's go to Luke chapter 6, and I'm going to read verse 37 and 38, and I have one more scripture after this. Yeah, this wasn't no long lesson at all, fam. I had to do it. I'm sick of these over-righteous Israelites, man. We are supposed to be humble in this walk. And if a brother or sister asks you a question, give the answer according to the scriptures, but also let them know, look, man, don't quit your job because somebody told you to do it on the Sabbath day, bro. Don't do that, sister. Don't do that, brother. How you going to make money then? You need money to live. Yeah, but they told me to go get me another job. Man, don't listen to them because you might can't find another job. That's why God say, come to me with your burdens. Come to me with your burdens. Don't go to no man and woman with your burdens. They're not no psychologists. What you gonna let them die? What's best for you? Don't do it. Don't do it. Luke chapter 6. And your brother K. Judah is gonna read 37 and 38. That's another thing I ask God for, is to let me tap into your mind through your word, to see how you move. Because people always told me when I first came into the truth, God don't change. He would never change anything that he ever do. But then when I read about David eating the showbread, not that God changed, but he didn't kill David when he could have. Because he said only the priest supposed to touch that showbread, and that bread was hollow that David ate, but he was blameless. The priest defiled the Sabbath day every Saturday. Well, he go another thing. Let me tell y'all something else. Let me read this, man. I got to talk to y'all for a little bit. Let me read these last two scriptures, and I'm going to tell y'all what they saying about the Sabbath day now. This is going to blow y'all mind. Let me go and get this out the way, man. Luke. And I'm going to tell y'all what they saying about the Sabbath day now. They becoming over righteous over everything now, family. Luke chapter 6 and verse 37 and verse 38. And it reads, judge not, and ye should not be judged. Judge not, and ye should not be judged. Condemn not, and ye should not be condemned. Forgive, and ye should be forgiven. Give, and it should be given unto you good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Shall men give into your bosom? For with the same measure that ye met, withal it should be measured to you again. So there you go, family. You have to not judge, that you be not judged. Because don't believe me, you don't got it all together. Neither do I. I try every day to walk in the spirit. Do I stumble sometimes? Absolutely. I would never be fake around people. Never. You make me mad and you disrespect me, I'm coming like a roaring lion. But I know I got to use the spirit, and I'm trying. Just don't disrespect me, and we will be good. Because I still can't let you handle me in the kind of way just because I'm in the truth. You got to be goofy. John chapter 7, and this will be last. Verse 22 through 24. Everybody think because we're in the truth, we supposed to be weak. No, partner, none of our forefathers was weak. They was lions. And you ain't finna handle K. Judah in the kind of way just because I'm in the truth. You done lost your mind, man. But I'm trying, though. I'm trying to walk in the spirit and walk away. But y'all want to tempt us, though. Oh, them Negroes in the truth, they can't do nothing. They can't say nothing. If they say anything out of line, God gonna get them. God gonna have compassion on whom he want. He say, be angry and sin not. So I can get angry of you disrespecting me, goofy. I'm just not gonna sin, though. That means go upside your head with a couple of these uppercuts. That's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna sin by giving you baby powder across your face like Mike Epps did in How High. I'm not gonna do that, but I want to, though. John chapter 7 and verse 22 and 24. And it reads, Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man. If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken, are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? Woo, this finna be funny right here. Hey, Israel. Israel! I gotta scream your name. Because if you just talk like Prince or Michael Jackson, nobody gonna turn around. So let me scream again. Israel! Did you hear the Lord? He said, a man circumcision on Sabbath day, that's work. Ain't that's working? And that's doing work on a Sabbath day? But the Lord just said that if you circumcise a man on the Sabbath day, and the Lord healed the man on the Sabbath day, how you mad at me? So if somebody gets circumcised on the Sabbath day, are you going to tell them, man, you need to wait till another day to get your baby circumcised? Woo! Woo, sigh. Woo, sigh. Woo, sigh, Lord. Woo, sigh. I see why the Lord say we are a stiff-necked nation. We know everything, man, but know nothing at all. I got to read that again, man. Let me read that one more time, family. Verse 22. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man. If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken. Are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? Verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. And that's the lesson, family. I pray somebody got some understanding that Israel, don't be over righteous in the truth. Now, let me tell you what they doing on the Sabbath day before I get up out of here. Anybody with common sense know that the Sabbath day is the only day that God gave a name to, right? He called it the seventh day. Anybody with common sense know that we didn't have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? But if I wake up on day 2, I know that's day 2. So on and so forth until I get to the 7th day. Y'all so wise and you so goofy, you don't even know that you don't need Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to understand 6 days you work and the 7th day is the Sabbath. It just so be that we got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But y'all become so over righteous, man. How we really know the Sabbath day is on Saturday? Because all you got to do is count the days. If I wake up tomorrow from this day, it's going to be what day? The first day. Because you remember 6 days, right? So I got to count 7. So that means the first day of the week would have to be Sunday. All the way until I get to what? Friday. That's 6 days, goofy. And then on the 7th day, which we call Saturday, goofy, that's the Sabbath day. Y'all better stop listening to these people, man. Y'all better stop listening to these people. I'm telling you, you're going to lose your crown listening to these Israelites. You don't need Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, y'all, to keep the Sabbath day, which is the 7th day of the week that God gave a name to. He called it the 7th day of the week. So if God called it the 7th day of the week, that means he is counting, goofy. Family. Y'all, Brother K. Judah, love y'all. I want to say big salute to the family. I thank y'all for coming today on this Shabbat. I pray you got some understanding, family. I pray that you see that do not, whatever you do, do not become over righteous in this truth, man. Walk humble with your God and walk humble with your Yahshua and walk humble with your brothers and sisters. And if they ask you a question, give an answer according to the scriptures, but also know how to discern the scriptures. That's the lesson, family. Big salute.
Taz Taylor Beats Doc.
I don't trust them, I don't love them. I might push them, I might shove them. I might stab them, I might plug them. I might rush them, I might crush them. I don't need them, no love, no. If I spit it, then I live it. Come and visit where I kick it. You gon' witness all the killing, all the children running around without no pot to go piss in. I'm gon' grit and I'm gon' grind and I'm gon' glow and I'm gon' shine. And you get yours, I'm gon' get mine. And in due time we both combine and everything gon' be fine now. No more fighting, no more fussing, no more arguing, no more cussing, no more hollering, no more busting. Sick and tired of struggling. I've been down for way too long. I ain't never going back. Say the game done change. I already knew that. I'ma go hard, go home and turn up to the max. For every single day I followed all the lies instead of facts. I've been down for way too long. I ain't never going back. Say the game done change. I already knew that. I'ma go hard, go home and turn up to the max. For every single day I followed all the lies instead of facts. I've been down for way too long. Now I watch him, now I see him, now I block him, now my DM, now my wifey, now my BM. We not cool and we not speaking. Nigga, the people, I delete them. It's gonna be right, it's gonna be wrong. When you accept it, you move on. Now we agree to disagree. We both should get along. I've been down for way too long.
Show up with the teddy bear for the good property report. Y'all don't show up for the basketball game. Show up. Right. Stop doing this. Right. Y'all making them woman visible. So he like, oh, man's gonna be jumping. Cause I see the love. I got it down again. Stop playing with
It's gonna be hate, it's gonna be love, it's gonna be tears, it's gonna be blood, it's gonna be them, it's gonna be us, it's gonna be down, it's gonna be up. But just stay strong and don't give up. Them your problems, that's your business. If you want it, you go get it. Ain't no stopping, ain't no quitting, ain't no breaking, ain't no bending. Don't go home till you finish. It's gonna be work, it's gonna be war, it's gonna be pain, you gonna be sore. You're gonna get less, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get stressed, you're gonna get bored. But keep your faith and trust the Lord. It's gonna be right, it's gonna be wrong. When you accept it, you move on. Now we agree to disagree. We both should get along. I've been down for way too long. I ain't never going back. Say the game done change. I already knew that. I'ma go hard, go home and turn up to the max. For every single day I followed all the lies instead of facts. I've been down for way too long. I ain't never going back. Say the game done change. I already knew that. I'ma go hard, go home and turn up to the max. For every single day I followed all the lies instead of facts. I've been down for way too long.
The beat plug. The beat plug. The beat plug. Taz Taylor Beats Doc.
In the words of my beloved sister August Dreams, thank y'all for coming to the Lions Den. And big salute to my CUC family and my FOPE family. Let's get it. And your brother K. Judah wanna say shalom.